Hi guys, my name is Sahan and I am going to take you in an exciting journey.
I'm Jayani, food writer, blogger, poet, and a girl who has an insatiable appetite for life.
Whatever's in my fridge, that is what I'm going to teach you guys, so that it's going to be very easy food, but it is restaurant quality food.
Cooking and baking is therapy for me, and it is an art form, a form of poetry in its own right. Through Homemade, I am going to be sharing some of my favorite recipes with you.
Join with me on my homemade journey.
This is my homemade.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Homemade on High TV with Sahan. I'm a food critic, I'm a part-time actor. My main professional background is in wines, and I'm a sommelier qualified. Basically, I'm a wine taster and I get paid to drink. My grandmother and me, we used to make cutlets and all that. My mother and me, we used to make all these idiopas and all sort of things. So, that is what inspired me. And as I grew up, as I grew older and all that, my working inspired me. I met so many chefs around the world. I hope to, pass on a little bit of knowledge of my home cooking to you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed my dish last time, and today I got something for the vegetarians, exactly. So today what we are making is a vegetarian moussaka from the islands of Greece. It's going to be terrific. It's not fully vegan, however, it's vegetarian. So let me start off with the ingredients. Let's get back to the ingredients. Alright, so to start off with, we have some eggplants, which is the base of this dish. We got some zucchinis, we have some potatoes, we have your basic pantry stuff, like your butter, your shallots, eggs, garlic, your spices and herbs, and we got some olives as well. No dish in Greece is finished without some olives, even the brim or some real olives. So, what else do we have? We are going to make a nice little sauce with some ricotta cheese, some parmesan, and some breadcrumbs that is needed as well. And we got some tomato paste and some cream. So, those are our ingredients for today. Let's put all these together. First of all, we need to get into chopping. Let's get into chopping. And just chop it off. Get rid of those little tail and all that. Nice thin slices of eggplant, and we're going to do the same with zucchini as well. So even with the potatoes. So that's done. What we are going to do is we're going to take some olive oil, let that get nice and heat it up. So while the oil is getting heated up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to season these eggplants, zucchini, and the potatoes with some salt. Get the pepper grinder. I love using the pepper grinder. And you just, now I can hear the oil sizzling. So what we're going to do is we're just going to slowly place it in. It's almost like we're just seasoning them. You can hear the nice sizzling thing. You just take them there and just put them on the side. Back to the heat, and now you do the eggplant. Same thing, you just want to fry them all together. Now the eggplant will quickly brown up. Don't worry about the seeds or anything like that. Flip them aside. Watch your hands for the oil. And what we're going to do is we're going to transfer that too now. Once that is done, and we go for the third one now, potatoes. Away from the body always, and try and use the flat ones. Now you can always deep fry them as well, that's not a problem. So once that's done, we're going to transfer that into the paper as well. And since that's all done there nicely, now since that's ready, we're going to start on our main sauce base. So to that, we're gonna start with the shallots. Use your hand, don't worry about the spoons or anything like that. I like using my hands. Nice amount, nice handful of shallots. Put some butter in it. Butter and olive oil goes really nicely. It adds up the flavor, so it's okay. Put some garlic. And we're gonna put some tomatoes in it as well. It all depends on how much you want to put. There's no set amount of things that you want to put. So if it's only for 2 people at home, then it's only for 2 people. If you are getting a larger group of people coming, then you cook for larger people. Got a nice glass bottle of red wine. Always measure. Flame it up nicely. Yes. You're deglazing it. Into that, we're gonna put some Heinz or any potatoes, anything that you like. Just gonna drop that in there. Nice beans. You can use lentils, you can use beans. That's not a problem. What you guys use. And just give it a nice stir. Add a little bit of the tomato paste. We're just gonna put some parsley or coriander to start off with. Break it with your hands. You don't need to chop it up. Just put it everywhere. That'll sink in. That'll marry the flavor together. Yep, coming out nicely. You can see we're just gonna let it reduce a bit as well. Keep it aside. The next step is gonna be putting all this together. But before we do that, we need to make our bechamel sauce. Now, traditionally a moussaka will come with a bechamel sauce, but I like to make it different. We're gonna use some ricotta. So get your blender. Add a lot of ricotta cheese, or you can use feta cheese, it doesn't really matter. Put some Parmesan in it, Parmesan cheese. So we're gonna need a lot of cheese here. Gonna clean up, add a nice handful of cream in there. More cream the better. We're gonna grab a couple of eggs. Nothing special, you don't need to separate the egg yolks or anything like that. That's 1, and that's 2. That's your bechamel, or the ricotta sauce that we are gonna use. We're just gonna blend that together on high. Stop, take it out. See if all those ricotta cheese pieces are mixed. I can see there are still some lumps. So what we're gonna do is, I'm just gonna put it back in there. Just gonna add a little bit more cream. As you can see, there's no measurements or anything like that. You just go by the feel of it. Put it in there again, on high. That should be it. Consistency is the most important part. Add a little bit of that. Guys, add a little bit of that into that. That's all right. It's gonna help it combine everything together. So that's that. Now, the next part is gonna be putting it together. So let me get my Pyrex dish and we'll start putting all of this together. Be right back. Alright, so guys, we're back. We're gonna put this together, the moussaka. Now, this is some stuff that I have done previously because we need a larger quantity and we are shooting on TV and we don't have much time. So we're gonna put it together in a nice Pyrex dish. We're gonna start with some breadcrumbs, or we're just gonna drop some breadcrumbs in there. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna start layering. So we're gonna layer with potatoes first. It doesn't have to be beautiful, it doesn't have to be precise or anything like that. And nicely squeeze it in there. And we're gonna season it a bit. salt. And then we're gonna put the zucchini. Layer, layer, layer. Make sure you get the edges as well. Make sure all those edges are covered nicely so that everything absorbs the flavor. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get our mixture, marry together a little bit. Get a bigger spoon. That's cheese combined with tomato. Now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna pour it in here. Nicely shave it up. Make sure you put it to the corners. This is a traditional favorite of vegetarian dishes. Vegetarians love this dish. Push it to the bottom, push it on there, to the corners. That's that. Get some more Parmesan cheese. Put some Parmesan cheese on top. That's gonna help it to stick together and all that. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go another layer of zucchini on this, on the edges. And then we're gonna come to the eggplant. We're going with the eggplant now. Keep layering it. Make sure you get the edges nicely covered. Okay, that's about it. More Parmesan cheese. I like my Parmesan. And now, clean up. We are gonna put this little sauce into this. Pour that in right in there. Get the edges, because you need all of it. Now just slowly push it into the corners. Don't be afraid to get yourself dirty. That's that. Bit more Parmesan to finish off. And that is it. So we put this together now. All we have to do now is put it in the oven, bake it for about 40 minutes. We're gonna bake it in about 200 degrees. My oven is a portable oven, but if you have a conventional oven or if you have a hotel oven or whatever, fancy oven or something like that, you try that. Nothing else to do. Just in there, and you close it. Thank you. 200, 185. And put your timer for 40 minutes and you're done. Guys, that is it for a vegetarian moussaka. We're gonna come back after that's baked. All right guys, so we're back. It's been about 35 to 45 minutes in there baking our vegetarian moussaka. We're just gonna take it out and have a look at it. Really nice coming out. You can see that, you know, Parmesan has crisped it up really nicely. Just gonna place that there. Get a little knife and poke it in, see if it's still wet. It's nice and moist still. It's good. So what we're gonna do is, ideally, I would like to sit it just to cool down for about 40 minutes again. But since we're on TV, we don't have much time. So we're gonna cut it up and serve it up. You can smell the cheese. You can smell the onions and the tomato paste coming out really nicely. So the whole idea is to just run a spatula just underneath and just lift it up. Now if this was cooled up, it would be easier. And just take a little thing and just place that there. You can see the layers of capsicum, eggplant, everything in there. Get a little bit of olives there. Fresh olives, just a little bit around the plate. One on the top. We're gonna take some parsley, keep it up there. Give the plate a nice wipe, and we just serve it up really nicely. Alright guys, we got our vegetable moussaka. I'm gonna try it now. That's the best part of everything. Making food, things that you love, things that you want to share with your family. Really got that ricotta cheese coming through. You can see all the vegetables are nicely done. They're nice and soft. They have married the flavors together really nicely. That is a beautiful vegetarian dish for vegetarian lovers. Greek moussaka, vegetarian. You can add the meat as well to the beans. Instead of the beans, you add some lamb or chicken or mutton or any type of meat, and then you can make it a meaty moussaka. So that's that. Until I meet you guys next time on another episode of Homemade, I'm Sahan Hewadeva signing off. I'll see you guys next time.
I'm Jayani. Welcome to home. I come from a family of foodies, and cooking for me therefore is second nature. Through this program Homemade, I am going to be sharing some of my favorite recipes with you, the flavors that I've grown to love. You can follow me on my food adventures on Instagram under Pekishme. And you can find the latest recipes on my blog, www.pekishme.com. I love galettes because it's so much of less work when compared to making a pie or a tart. A galette is very rustic in its elegance and its simplicity. And today I'm going to be making an apple and cheddar galette because the flavors of apple and cheddar has always fascinated me. It's two of my favorite ingredients that go together in perfect harmony. The first step in making a galette is making the crust of it. And all you need is the ingredients and your trusty food processor. And all you need to do is just combine all the ingredients and pulse it up in the food processor, and you have your crust. Let's begin. What you need is 1.5 cup of wholemeal flour. I'm using wholemeal flour because it's healthier to do so, but you can actually use refined flour as well. There are no hard and fast rules in my kitchen. It's 1.5 cups of flour. And into this goes my very, very cold cubed butter, a tiny bit of salt, and I am using brown sugar in this. 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. And then you pulse it. And as you're pulsing it, you need to put a little bit of the cold water at a time. And you really need to watch the consistency, because what you're looking out for is a crumbly consistency that is not too wet. So what I'm now going to do is tip all these contents into this prepared polythene over here. So you need to slowly mold this into a ball. It needs to be not sticky. You need to be able to hold it in your hand like this, roughly shaped into a ball. Wrap it in some cling film. And you need to give this about 1 hour in the fridge to nicely firm up. So while the dough is chilling in the fridge, I'm going to cut my apples. What you need is fairly thin slices. Just cut it in half, quarter it again, and I'm going to just core this You need to core the apples. Thin slices. What you need to be careful with about apples is the fact that there would be a lot of pesticides and a lot of waxes that come within the skin. And I won't recommend for you to take off the skin because the skin has most of the nutrients, as you say. So what I would usually do is soak the apples in a solution of vinegar and water before I use it. That would most definitely get rid of most of the toxins that engulfs these apples. Right, we are done with the apples. Let's get rid of these cores right here. What I'm now going to do is roll out the dough. It has been nicely chilling in the fridge for 1 hour. It's nice and firm. So what we need is 2 baking sheets, one on top and one at the bottom, where we are going to just roll out the dough. Now the dough has been chilling in the fridge for over an hour and it's nice and tight right now. So what we need to do is roll this out between these 2 sheets of paper. Just flatten that slightly and roll it into a circular shape. It doesn't need to be perfect because after all we are making a rustic galette here. So now comes the fun part. What we are going to do is layer all these ingredients onto this rolled out dough. First goes the cheddar. I have used a very mature cheddar here with its sharp, salty taste. And while you're sprinkling these ingredients, make sure that you leave a margin of about 1 inch around the edge, because what you're going to do is fill the middles of the galette and then fold it all in. Now I'm going to sprinkle the raisins on top of the cheddar. Make sure you get the raisins everywhere. Next goes the apples, and now you can layer these apples any which way that you want, haphazardly, or you can get creative with it. I'm just going to just lay it down like this. Right, we are done with the apples. Now a little sprinkling of cinnamon for that extra bit of flavor. I'm quite generous with my cinnamon. And I like a little bit of sweetness in this as well, so a bit of sugar. And now you fold it all in. Be very careful. You don't need to be very neat with it. You just need to make sure that you get everything in. Now you take a baking tray and very, very carefully lift this on to the baking tray. Now this needs to go into a preheated oven, 300 degrees Fahrenheit, for about 20 to 30 minutes until the edges of the galette turns slightly brown and the fruits reduce a little bit. This is right out of the oven, and as you can see, the edges have nicely browned and the apples have reduced and turned a beautiful caramelized color. So let's cut in and have a taste. This is my ideal rainy day treat. The sweetness and the tartness of the apples contradicts beautifully with the saltiness and the intensity of the cheddar. And then you get that beautiful hit of cinnamon that sort of warms you up from within, and the sweetness from the sugar and the earthiness of that crust with whole wheat flour just brings it all together. This is amazing. I hope you enjoyed my apple galette. Thank you for watching, and this is my hoping.